course, nobody ain't supposed to talk about that. Many of them still in this movement. You understand what I'm saying? To kill the civic side of this movement. So people can think it's just another black religious Islamic sect. You get? That was their mission, to establish that fake reality, not reality, but that fake appearance of reality, that semblance, that color to the people, which is the color that most people have of the Moorish movement now. And anyone says that's not true is a liar, but that's the concept that people have this movement. Until we came out and started reaching out to them while everybody else was being silent, condemning us for doing it too. And we put literature out there to change their concept, so they can have something to reference to. You understand? Just like the prophet said do. Exactly what the prophet said do. People mad at us, still mad at us for it. I don't care. Because I'm not it for them. I got babies. And they got babies. And they got babies, and the babies that's still in the womb. And I ain't having it. And I'm a soldier. I came as a defender for no reason. That's why I do what I do. I'm telling you bluntly. And I ain't for you.
Mufti force of the conscious game, superstars won't spend all those G's just a supercar. I'd rather put the funds to Mufti force guns. Dr. Sebi remedy in truck skids and tons. Signing bonus, gift to Gabriel or Igbo or UMIA, let more replace Negro. I'm not the face watcher or friend beggar. I'm not the type to take back what I tell ya. Tight pants and dry flows, I want a Rockefeller. Black Hawk down, a fly rapper and snap propellers. Airspace in these bars, I know flow zones. I heard R&B singers are homo drones. I heard that from a gay rapper dressing so thug. G's can't pass butt cheeks, dressing so snug, like a snuggle bear, showing me your underwear. Rapper inquisition make rappers run from fear of being shown up. You already thrown up, punchlines and hooks leave their face swole up. Or like the trials if you don't pay what's owed up. Rapper inquisition, horror flip the lips sewn up. Can't go one-on-one for IHF zone up. Using the fiat and deals, pumping their clones up. Making more rap clones like iRobot. Short circuit the whole industry of rap robots. That butt's boinking. Working with the ones oinking. Hip-hop's hurting IHF, the vocal ointment. Flow like a break waves and b-boy girl dancers. Spit like pain of old school graphers. Fiend for the true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MCOGs with content that you're used to. Fiending for true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MCOGs with content that you're used to.
They want make we life hard like pavement. Me no afraid to make my statement. Babylon go on with the mental and physical enslavement. Think right now if we all live like cavemen. How much go dead off, how much now go make it. The righteous replace them, the more side erase them. Discrimination, plaguing with nation. Unity is strength, we weak with separation. Jailhouses meant to deplete elevation. Wisdom visit under deep meditation. All you ever see under sleep medication. Herbs are the healing of the nation. Tell them police, they that stop chase man, especially since me know no phone, no place that flirt of the truth. Me know say you can't take that. See them chat, yeah, this rasta. Nah, take back, you don't know.
Couldn't grasp half of the shit that we've been through. These clip ass niggas making comments on YouTube. TorontoRappers.com talking about you too. Generation switch, shouldn't have to show you. Big man grow, bitch, don't worry about the old school. Haven't seen a man you used to see before. Cause certain man don't want the face see no more. Get off our dicks, your pussies is whores. Tendencies of a bitch, you should learn to be a more. And while you're hating, we'll keep repping T.O. and celebrating, cause enough soldiers soon home. We penetrating, got the locks and the codes. So do your own time, bro, we alright. Everybody on their own ground, but we still tight. It's just a miscommunication, which brothers don't fight. You need an occupation or I forgot you tight. Shit about other man, cause you covered their life. But your business you should mind though, cause we work nights. And you ain't hard to find once darkness comes to light. And I don't care, you can take my flesh knife here. I manifest, and I come back in your nightmares. And I kill you there, I've been traveling for light years. I can't die, but they won't see your cornea, you won't wake up. Need to call the coroner, another wake up. Your boys will be corona, cause they slept. Reminiscing while they morning saying what the. Just yesterday we was vlogging with each other. Shouldn't I?
with just another brother and the rest of the camp. 2 decades straight, we've been making a stamp. Yeah, I know you say you don't even know me. I make it clear I'm a Flemodon OG. Year to year, made stacks off the Mosies from the block to the bars. I'm known we between the rats and the stars. I play it low-key looking down, and it's far at the top, it's getting lonely.
Of course, there are ages that exist, whether or not it's informed by my lips, labeled angelic or devilish, based in the view the beholder gets. The older we get, our perspectives and action change, regardless lines drawn between those that intend to hinder gain. Similar, not the same, so which of the seat they're left to complain. The reference frames change while still thinking life is a game. While we train, in this battlefield, knowing when comic kicks is real. My mental plus my tempo must be ready to switch from hurt to heal. It's true to reveal similarities since they be following orders accordingly from trust to destiny. So mercy's unnecessary. Murder honorably one's enemy, and as long as common mode exists, an opposition has to be.
Come test me now. Come test me now. Yeah, come test. I flatten your career, make a whack rap. Too many whack rappers out there. This one's for y'all, yo. Simon, I flatten your career, make a whack rapper disappear. Grab you by your shirt back and kick your ass out of here. Bystanders run for cover, cause I'm back to reap havoc. Remember me? To kill them all and make them die tragic. Turn the opposition, cock it back and let them have it. Let them vanish like I'm a magician and raps from magic. And like, poof, you're gone. With the proof I'm on. To all you non-substance rappers, if you want, respond. Give y'all a second, but I recognize you're repping some metrosexual shit, that's not the way that I'm stepping. I studied last year's testing, skim the cheat sheets. So test me now, kill commercial rap like dead meat. If you don't know, I'm Simon Phoenix on a deadbeat. Hung commercial rap on front page, I can't be discreet. Lyrically dumb heat, leaving bodies in tall heaps. No mortal can walk like I do, now bow and kiss my feet. Call me sire, throw out your skinny jeans and retire. Back you up against the wall with hail or gunfire. Sharp talent, shred your skins and shatter your bones. Stay out of the kitchen, better yet, drop the microphone. Steadily prepping better recipes. I rap till the end, but rap won't be the death of me. At a shower party when I catch ya, I wet ya, then blow you up the crime scene. All that's left is your stretcher. So test me now, make your fans convert. Have them wearing fatigues and burning tight pink ass shirts. Have them dashing out the flashy clothes like I'm not Tron. Milling your pipe bombs, labeled a wannabe rap icon. Check me later, I'm gone. Thought I died, but I respond. My words are bondable, but when I speak, don't respond. I drown shallow-minded MCs in a shallow pond. Mobilize 1 million men to march like I'm Farrakhan. But I'm more like Malcolm and my brother's son Falcon. Chasing crazy ball heads out of our town after I scalp them. Bit off more than you can chew, motherfuckers. Come test me now. So test me now. So test me now.
It's still IHF, still ill, hot and fed. The type to leave a body guy leaking from his head. Dirty like the naps in my head. The enemy still want me dead, but mentally I cause their bodies to combust spontaneously. I be that ghetto dentist, removing chest cavities with my psychopathic surgery. My incision won't be circular, more like linear. My net will stop arising, can you still hear me clear? No more text messages, only mental mind blast to my comrades. Traitors never overstand the task. Rather floss in some tight pants, some money in the head. Big chains and rims spinning. My stone hands will leave your face smashed and ears ringing. Armageddon soon beginning, so there's no time for sinning. When I finally kill the devil, I'ma hear these angels singing. Such a beautiful song.
I know what dirty more, yeah. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I'm saying, I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I'm born of dirty rappers lynching dirty Moors too. Hiding literature that Drew wrote to warn you. They claim to make you Muslim and make you sovereign. With paperwork and filing, they fiat, they rob it. They don't care about his words, throw it out like garbage. Or throw it at you when you're active, not passive. When they want to talk about like off a trampoline mattress, treat them like a vamp or a teen actress. Get stabbed with the brand like a mean savage. This inquisition divine, all others average. Millennium renaissance, heroes in our classes. Fed up with the czar controlling fascists. Ask if they heard about Moors, they say no. But Masons, they obviously know. Down the handshakes and rituals with skull and bones. They even know about Isles burning Bohemian Grove. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. Dirty Moors kills Drew. I read the FBI papers. I'm loyal Moors, emergency fund rapers. Moorish literature and divine ballad changers. Might as well say Drew Ali was born in a manger. Prophet puts poison aside and his food smell danger. Got me treating every Moor like a stranger. Grand sheep punkin, stumbling drunk in their feds. What was proclaimed for every meeting was not read. Some Moors are so active, prophet can't be dead. Thanks Moorish teachers away, I can't be led. Actions speak, then I consider what's said. And what's said was study, then study yourself. Honest to the prophet, know the true Ali. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. Everybody wants to be just like True Ali, but nobody wants to care about True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to True Ali. I know what dirty Moors did.
Class today, but before we get to the information, I want to read you something from Noble Drew Ali, divine universal prophet, to set the tone for what we're about to get into. This is titled A Warning from the Prophet. For all governors and grand sheiks and head officials of all temples, renew your acts, amend your ways, because the great conference is on its way, and in it is where the law will be enforced before the great grand body. The continuance of the present officers in the temple will depend on your past good work. Those who have been delinquent may now know that they will not be tolerated any longer, because this great divine and national movement must move on according to law. These things shall be proclaimed. There is no favorite in any of the temples, for the law is laid down, and everyone who claims a part of the work must be governed accordingly. I'll read that sentence one more time. There is no favorite in any of the temples, for the law is laid down, and everyone who claims a part of the work, everybody that claims a part, must be governed accordingly. All are one. There is but one temple in this nation, and there is but one prophet of the temples. I come to speak to all nations, bringing them the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's a warning now. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Supreme Grand Council, yes, I done brought it up again, and we're going to stay on this until we get it addressed. For those that are aware, just kick back. I'm going to give a little intro. For those that are not aware about the Supreme Grand Council, please listen closely. I want to break it down for you. Alright, so the Supreme Grand Council issue, it's really like a three-part problem, so let me break it down. The first part of the problem is that we don't have a functioning, active, valid Supreme Grand Council. We don't have people that were properly and lawfully elected and put into those positions. It's not doing its duties and its obligations.
So how could you say we don't have but then you're saying they're not doing their duties? So if they're not doing their duties, then that means we have one. That means there's some people who are supposed to be functioning as this body called Supreme Grand Council. There's a people that are supposed to be functioning in this capacity. Keep in mind, all this has to do with is Moorish Science Temple and all that. This has nothing to do with Moorish Nation. This has nothing to do with Great Seal. This has nothing to do with anything other than Moorish Science Temple of America. That's it. That's all this has to do with. This doesn't do with the Moorish Nation. So don't think every Moor has to be down with some Supreme Grand Council. And we're gonna keep stressing the point that the reason why Noble Drew Ali incorporated religious corporation, Heard's revised statute, our authority back of the 101 and all that. The only reason he did that was because of traitors in this. Because this was about the nation. And the nation had everything on lockdown in the 1920s. The Moors were where it was at in America in the 1920s. Nobody else was doing anything like what the Moors are doing. No one. No black leader was going to Havana, Cuba for Pan American Conference. There's no black leader that people were claiming plagiarized Levi Dowling, who brought a Korean gospel and onto the I Grant. Everybody knows him. How come they didn't compare any other black leaders to him? Only one. And then they're going to try to pull him into some masonry BS. Like he was a mason or something. Why would the prophet be a mason? That doesn't even make any sense. Why would the prophet be part of a lodge? For what? What's he part of that for? To do what? What's he part of that for? And then when you go research the lodge, you're going to hear them talking about Supreme Grand Council too. So all this talk about Supreme Grand Council and all that stuff is really the takeaway from what this is about. That this is about the priesthood is dead. So anybody called grand whatever and they're running any supreme whatever, that stuff is void. So the people better start fending for themselves. And I'm telling you, as a Grand Sheik, you better fend for yourself. You think the Grand Sheiks aren't fending for themselves? Because they realize these people aren't going to get it? Every Grand Sheik who I know, they got something outside of their Grand Sheik stuff that they're doing. There's no Grand Sheik sit in the temple, and then that's all they do. And all day they just sit at the temple. Fridays do meetings. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they just sit at the temple doing nothing. And them and the secretary just sitting at the temple and doing nothing. Every Grand Sheik I know is industrious. Legit Grand Sheik. Every single Grand Sheik who I know, legit, has their own side whatever that they do. That has nothing to do with Moors and nothing like that. Why? Because they're supposed to be industrious. Not supposed to be do nothing. Sit in the temple with all the other heads of the whatever and people have issues out here. You guys are just chilling in your mansions. That's not what this is about. It's not about being part of some club, being part of some council, so you can get some authority of being some whatever. The priesthood is dead. Do you understand what the priesthood is dead means? And you don't want to be a Latin man. You want some supreme whoever to sanction you. And you tell me that you're not pushing this as religion? That's religion. Negro, black, colored people are Moors too. They don't have to be part of no Supreme Grand Council and all that stuff. That's limited to Moorish Science Temple of America only, which was created by Noble Drew Ali as a trap for the traitors. all the religious Moors and all the traitors who aren't active, the traitors who aren't being industrious or whatever, they're going to tell you Moorish Science Temple of America every day, all day. Never mention Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Never mention Moorish Divine National Movement. And they're only going to mention Noble Drew Ali from some religious leader, prophet perspective, not statesman. Why does he meet with the governor and go into inauguration of a governor if he's some nigger? Why you need a Supreme Grand Council if you're going to the inauguration of the governor? And then we know, because when you go check Supreme Grand Council, they're telling you right now that they're accessible. You can reach out to these people called Supreme Grand Council, and what they're going to tell you? You a member of a Moorish Science Temple? No. Well, you ain't got nothing to do with this. You want to join? And now you could be part of the Supreme Grand Council, see what we're doing behind the doors of the whatever. Why you have to go behind the doors to find out what... If Noble Drew said, okay, this is your nationality and identification card, and then you have a nationality. If you have a nationality, then that means you're not part of a club. You're not part of a church. You're not part of a temple. You're a national. You don't have a membership to be a national. And if you thought, so you went and joined whatever, for example, someone called me. Okay, so I have a situation now. All right, what's the situation? Taxes. You proclaim your nationality and all that stuff. Oh yeah, a year ago, declare my nationality. Oh yeah. Okay, who do you do that through? Oh, Moorish Consular Court. Okay, so you nationalize through Moorish Consular Court, yeah? And you download the paperwork, they sealed it for you. You made the copies, you put it to the 7 people and all that. Yeah. Okay. And then all these people are sending you something and you're just calling, just calling Moors, just to see how they would deal with this. Because, this is about learning and getting in touch with other Moors who might be on a different level than you, and, you're growing in this. Yeah. So, let me ask you a question. How come you never called the Moorish Consular Court people? Like, how do you end up calling me? Because I never did paperwork with you or whatever like that. So how come you have a situation and you're calling me? And then we stay on the phone for 2 hours still, and it ain't no big deal because this is what we do. But then the people who sold you the paperwork, because they're going to make you buy the seal for the document and pretend that they're doing some nation stuff when they stole all their stuff from Great Seal. How come you're not calling them with your issue? Interesting that you're Moorish Consular Court, who's supposed to be handling people's issues because you're Moorish Consular Court. You're the Moorish American Consulate, so you're supposed to be handling Moors' issues. Now how come Moors are calling me when they got your paperwork? They got Moorish American Consulate paperwork. They got Matt D card and all that, but they're calling me when I don't even have nothing to do with that. Why are you calling me? How come you're not calling them? So it's either that you tried to contact them and they told you to your face that they can't do anything for you, thanks for the how much ever finance that you gave us, or they didn't even return your call. Well, I did try to reach out to them and it seems like they're not going to help me with my issue. Oh, okay. So doesn't that mean that they're a traitor? That they took your finance, gave you paperwork, told you send it out to all these people, And then now these same people who you sent the stuff out to are coming back to you on, you know what I mean? Okay, prove your claim. And then you can't prove it because these people who sold you the thing never taught you about it. And then you're coming to the people who've been teaching about this for years, 100 years we've been teaching about this. Now you're coming to us to figure out the mess that those people over there caused that you don't want to deal with. So when you hear them talk about supreme grand this and grand that and more science temple and grand body and supreme grand advisor and you're hearing all these things and you're starting to get, oh my gosh, because of the titles or whatever. No, don't trip. Don't trip. That was created for the traitors to get lost in. It's a black hole. Because why would he be the prophet and incorporate some religious whatever? Why would he do that for? Why would a prophet do that? Why would Jesus came down the stairs, running down the stairs. Muhammad's on the other side, running down the stairs. Because they got to file the paperwork at the registration office to start up the salvation for the black people movement. The thought of Allah manifested in flesh is going to the office of the ministry of whatever to go file some papers to be a religious corporation. And he's in his own land. And everybody knows that he's Cherokee. And everybody knows that he's part of the family who sued the United States for the Louisiana Purchase and won 68,000 acres. But they're not going to go there. They want to tell you about some Supreme Grand Council. All right. Let's check. Because people get mad at Canaanland Moors like as if we're talking crazy. Okay. We're the ones talking crazy.
First link that you want to go to is this link here, ipiweb.cityofchicago.org. And if you all leave your emails in the chat, we'll make sure that you get these links because I have a document here that I'll send you that has all of the links to the websites that we're going to go over. Okay? So he's still, whenever you want to chime in, just chime in once we start going through these things because there may be some things that I might look over or overlook. Okay? So everybody just make sure that you put your email address in here if you want these email addresses, these web addresses to look into so that you can know for yourself and be what you know and not what you're told. So right now we're going to take you through the first link is the City of Chicago vacant.
So they're talking about right now the Supreme Grand Council. Right now. We're not talking about 1929 and stuff like that. We're not talking about convention and that time and Noble Drew Ali had writings and all this. We're talking about right now, in this space and time, right now, this is what's going on with the activity of the so-called Supreme Grand Council, who've been around for 100 years and haven't solved any problems for our people. And they're Moors. And remember, this isn't us talking. This is not Canaanland Moors talking right now. Right? There's just some Moors online who they're studying. And once you start studying, you're going to find some stuff out. And then some stuff that you find out, you're going to have to deal with it. That's just what it is. Nothing personal.
Buildings thing. All right? And then from there, we're going to go into the show records page, the Cook County Clerk's Office, that shows some of the documentation that we put in our group to show you exactly what had happened. So I have the show record clause. This is the permanent injunction order right here. Of course, you all seen that in the web on the More Science Temple of America Facebook page. But I want to show you, because was brought to our attention, and we saw in the More Science Temple of America Facebook group that we were accused of doctoring up some information.
Right? So honors to these Moors for talking up when they realize that some BS is going on. Something's wrong here. Right? Honors to all the true and faithful Moors, the honorable, righteous Moors out there who know that this is about the 5 principles and it's about uplifting our people. There ain't nothing else. Anybody telling you anything else, they're probably working on the other side. Some way, somehow, directly or indirectly. Because Noble Drew Ali even told the Moors, Islam is a simple faith. It's not some rocket science. A child could figure this out. Right? And Drew Ali said, new Moors are going to come with their eyes wide open. Right? You're talking to the generation of those Moors. Like, we are the 3rd and 4th generation that Noble Drew Ali said is going to be here. Certain people have the spark that they know that this is where they've been supposed to be all their life. And they were given the mantle of power of this. And people took this power and did some corrupt stuff with it. But honors to the true and faithful. And the ones that stayed true to the actual cause of what this is. That this is about uplifting our people and about us living within the 5 principles amongst each other and the world. Anything else is uncivilized and ruthless. Everything else. Now remember, this is right now Supreme Grand Council, that they have a phone number, P.O. box and all that stuff. You can contact them if you want to. Certain Moors already know that this is about the nation. This is not about More Science Temple of America. And trust me, we're More Science Temple of America. We're the first More Science Temple of America in so-called Canada. First one ever. 100 years. First one. So don't think we're talking down on More Science Temple of America, because we're that. We rep that every day, all day, that religious corporation. We rep for that. Our stuff is registered as a religious corporation in Ministry of Ontario's whatever. But we never had to pay these people taxes. Never, ever. And they never ever came to us like, hey, we got to pay taxes. Why? Because this is not about More Science Temple. This is about Moorish nation. And Noble Drew Ali said, yeah. And they were the founders and true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire. Well, the Supreme Grand Council needs to do something, because if we have a Supreme Grand Council, that means we're going to be able to... What are you talking about? What Supreme Grand Council have to do with the empire? Please, you simple-minded Moors, think Noble Drew Ali brought you More Science Temple of America only? You simple-minded, minuscule Moors. Stagnating the movement. Do you know for years that there's been Moorish whatever? There's one that exists. This is about nation. It's not about some individualism, because no man is an island. Because even an island has multiple people on them. So stop the BS. I have an island, so I'm somebody. No, you're not. You're an idiot. Because you have an island and you don't even stay there. Because unless people are there with you. Because no man is an island. And all these islands are getting pointed out, trying to pretend like they're the stuff. Yeah, the island is where it's at because, you know what I mean? We're surrounded by water, and the sun is beaming down and all that. It's about mainland, not islands. It's about mainland. It's about vast estate. It's about vast estate, not about state. It's about nationhood. And Moor Science Temple was set up by Noble Drew Ali to trap the traitors. Rat trap. He said he stopped up every rat hole. What does that mean? That they're not getting out. Why is he stopping up every rat hole? To keep them from getting in? No, they're not leaving. That's a trap. The rat hole is a trap. If they can't get out, they just eat each other. And the game is being played still, 2021. And keep in mind, this is not Canaanland Moors talking. This is just some other Moors out there just doing their own research. This has nothing to do with us. So don't look at striking our YouTube page or our IG or whatever like that because we said something. It ain't us talking. These are some Moors of a nation who in their own studies realize something's wrong here. What's wrong? Everybody chased after. They even have the lie to the point where they're going to tell you Moor Science Temple of America was founded in 1913. Go check online right now. You see how many people tell you Moor Science Temple of America 1913 when that's a lie. Moor Science Temple of America wasn't even a thought in 1913. So there you got the papers to show what's up. And they're dated. Why do you think Moors get so upset? Because the issue is these traitors. Stop looking at the European because they did something. Like they're telling me about, oh my gosh, why is the European doing that? Well, what's he doing? Well, the highwayman, there's a brother dangling from a bridge and the highwayman's telling him to put his hands up. Why don't they help him? Help him for what? Like, what do you mean why? What do you mean why don't they help him? What do you mean? Well, he was in a high-speed chase or whatever, so he had nowhere to go, so he jumped out the car and jumped over the bridge, but it was a 50-foot fall or whatever. And he was hanging on it by one hand, and they were telling him to freeze, and then he just fell. So you did whatever BS that you got yourself in this situation in the first place. And then your frame of mind. Now, you're not just going to jump over a wall in any situation. Like, why would you just jump over a wall? You're telling me about some Europeans? They had their guns on him? Why is he jumping over walls? 50-foot fall. You're going to put that on a highwayman? If you're going to put that on a highwayman, you got problems. You got serious problems. You need to check yourself. Because who just jumps over a wall? Who just does that? You know, nobody looks before you jump? Now, if you checked and you saw it was a 50-foot and then you jumped still, that's a whole different thing. Then you're looking at some European. It's not European. It's the warped people who taught him. Had his mind messed up, have him doing all this crazy stuff. People before him, who they didn't even handle their generational curses and passed all their stuff on to him. You know, he's out here robbing banks. He doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. Because of all these traitors who you let hang around, rub elbows and stuff like that. You think stuff is cool. When they sold you out. Do you know what they sold you out means? And again, we're more Science Temple of America. So don't you dare look at us and tell us about we're doing some kind of fraud or something because we're calling ourselves more Science Temple of America and there's all these other people over here doing fraud with it. So that means we're relative. No, we're not. Because guarantee, if you ask them about us, they're going to find every excuse to find why they can't unite with us. Even though we donated finance to them for whatever. Just because, as Moors. If you're leadership, then that's what it is. But don't think anybody's going to pull any stuff over here. As if we don't know what's going on. And been knowing what's going on. And been some of the only Moors talking up about this corruption and this thing. That people keep getting attached to this as if this is what it's about. More Science Temples in America is not what it's about. And if it is about More Science Temple, it's about More Science Temple acting as an institution where children could go learn, mothers could have their Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever night to do their, you know what I mean, whatever they're doing, astrology class, sewing class, whatever, anything that they want to do. The office for whoever's business is going to be in this spot is probably going to have some satellite offices all over the place. It's not going to be just one thing in one area and that's all. It's just limited to that only. If we're talking about More Science Temple. Going to have businesses under it. It's not just going to be some building only and then that's it. Nothing else happening. That's all. Just this building. The people in it aren't doing anything. Right? So don't even try to pull the, well, you say you're More Science Temple. No. We're not just More Science Temple only. We're More Science Temple and all subsidiaries that are under the Noble Juali banner. We're not just limited to More Science Temple of America only. Right? But the people who claim and play More Science Temple of America is the all and be all and all that, and you think because they got this building with the red carpet and the pews on the side and whatever like that you got something. No, these people are playing games with you. And we've been telling you. Remember, this is not Canaanland Moors talking. This is not Coucil L talking. And this is not anybody on our side talking. This is just some other Moors out there just doing their own research. And when they find out about this fraud and all that stuff, they're not talking about they're not Moors. Because of these people doing fraud, we're not Moors, we're going to just go back to being black guys. No, we're still Moors. And we deal with it accordingly. Which means sever ties and move on. Not with what Noble Juali brought and all that stuff, with these traitors who keep selling you out. And you keep paying honors to them. Honors to the traitors because, you know, they taught me everything that I know, so we got to give thanks to the traitors. Because they taught us. All right.
Doctoring up some documents, you know, and we want to show you that these things come from actual official websites of the city of Chicago. And the reason that this is saying not an official document, because to get an official document from the court, you have to go to the court and it has to have the court seal on it, an embossed raised seal. So this is not an official document of the court. but it's on the website. To get the official document, you got to go and make that request and get that sealed. So let's go over. I want to see how I can. All right, let's go over the vacant buildings website real quick. Just gonna go through. You can see that this, we have it already up as 5001 South Wabash Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60615. It's got a case number assigned to it, and it's got trouble building complaint, and you can see that it's in the demo court. So the demo court has control of this building and the disposition of what's going to happen to it. So the demo court outlines and updates this website weekly, if not daily. Okay, so here you can see that under the VBR registration detail, it's got registration, issue date, status, incomplete payment required, real estate owned, and some other information. Then if you go to the next tab, you see contacts. Let's see, I've had it up for a while. So you got contacts, other, name, church, also known as New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. Type of owner, First New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. So it doesn't say on here that the Morriside Temple of America owns this. It has the other owner, Emmanuel B. Bay, right? Other owner, New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. And then last online registrar was Suzette Del Percio, which we found out is some type of contractor there in Chicago. Okay, so last online registrar was Emmanuel B. Bay. So if this building was bought in the name of the Morriside Temple of America, why does it have New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church or Emmanuel B. Bay as the owner? Because the general laws of the prophet says that all properties acquired should be in the name of what? Morriside Temple of America or Noble Drew Ali. Islam, go ahead.
General laws also says no individual name should be on there as well. Graduate-based individual name is on there. That's a violation of the prophet's general laws. Peace.
Yeah. No individual name. So now we're going to go to the next tab, contractors. And contractors is where, what should be in the contractors? Any person who is licensed to do work on buildings should be listed as a contractor, right? Should be listed as a contractor and should be put in there because that means that they have gotten the proper permits to do work on the building. For those of you who are in the group right now, if you've been on the other Moors groups, you've seen that over the past weekend, some work has gone on in the building. We don't know if it was permit work or just cosmetic work, so we don't know. But we can see that in this history, there's no list of contractors who have been in this building doing permitted work. All right, so now we go to the building information. The building information just gives you the range address because every 25 feet in Cook County, in Chicago, you have to have a different range of address for every 25 feet. That's why on here, you have 5001 South Wabash, and then also attached is 5001 to 5003 South Wabash, because every 25 feet, it's got to have a different address as far as this building code is. So that's why you got two addresses here. But you see they have it attached in here to let you know that it's all a part of one particular property title. So let's go on. I'm going to keep moving. We'll go to the law. Nothing in the law about it. Let's go to court dates. The last court date for this building, scroll down so you can see where it came from, started April 18, 2014, courtroom 1105, case mentioned, right? Then it goes set for trial, October 31st, 2014. May 24th, 2015, still case management. All the way up, a couple of permanent injunction is the last legal happening on 5001 South Wabash. The permanent injunction relates to this item right here. Can everybody see this document?
Islam.
Let me go ahead and, there we go. So you can see this permanent injunction here. Okay? Nothing that we made up. This is a document off the county clerk's office for Cook County. Nothing that we made up. It gives you everything. It says Grantor, Chicago, Grantee, New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. Don't say More Science Temple of America on there. Okay? So here you see if I can make it a little larger in case you all can't see it. And most of you all probably have this document already. You should have downloaded it if you don't, because it's in.
Now keep in mind, all of this is relative to the Supreme Grand Council, because this is what's going on with the people who have claimed to be Supreme Grand Council, who we know if there's a bunch of Moors, and these bunch of Moors in America after Noble Drew Ali have somebody that they look at as their leadership, right? And then their leadership goes somewhere, and their leadership has a Moor holding his umbrella with his two hands swinging. You know these people have ego issues. You know that they were jealous of the fame and nobility. When they're going to have agents up here, right now who are calling themselves More Science Temple of America up here as well, who came from our temple, right? But they don't ride with us. They ride with these Moors right now, who these Moors are talking about. Right? They're out here though, but they don't ride with us. They ride with these Moors. Right? We had situations where these members from these people are stalking our members to get them to be part of their temple. Because certain Moors, they're always going to check with the Grand Sheikh. If they say that they're down with Drew Ali and they're down with protocol or whatever, they're going to check with the Grand somebody before anybody else. They should switch because the legitimate More Science Temple is what these people are doing when they're Baptist Church. What More Science Temple what? These are Supreme Grand Council people. They're a Baptist church. So a Supreme Grand Council is a Baptist church. And then so Supreme Grand Council is a Baptist church, right? Okay? Now, how does this look now? Knowing what you just found out now, how does this look now?
You know, on a daily, and it hasn't been doing this for years. And this component, or this piece to this, the More Science Temple of America, the Supreme Grand Council, is an integral, it's a very necessary piece to make this whole thing operate the way it's supposed to. So currently, we don't have that. Part two of the problem is that most of the Moors and the Moorish Americans, the Muslims that are members of the More Science Temple of America, are not fully aware and informed and have a good understanding of what the Supreme Grand Council is and how it's supposed to be operating and functioning within our organization. That's part two of the issue. And then the third part, you know, is that the people that do know about the Supreme Grand Council, the people that do understand its functions and its, you know, its obligations, its duties, the Grand Sheiks, the Grand Governors, the Chairmen, the teachers, the Moorish American teachers that you see, most of them are either remaining silent about this issue and the Supreme Grand Council in general and just don't speak on it.
Now, once again, in '08 when we were chartered to be Moor Science Temple of America. It's a body of Moors who were part of Grand Major Temple that left because of the corruption in it. And they said, we're adepts, so we're going to exercise as our own grand body. And any Moors who are down with us, let's get down. That was '08. Having their own convention, separate from these people's convention, because of the treason that was going on. So when we say our foundation has nothing to do with these people right now who are claiming to be Moor Science Temple of America, right? Like, we have actual Moor Science Temple of America, Moorish Divine and National Movement seal. Like, we have the seal. Because those Moors had the seal. Because they realized that these people were traitors and were not going to do anything for the nation. They were going to keep doing everything for their selfish self. And they were honorable enough to say, forget this, we're leaving that. And we're going to start doing this how it's supposed to be done. And like we say on numerous occasions, that when we went to Mecca, to Chicago in '08, Moors had Chicago on lockdown. They didn't have any issues with these highwaymen and all that stuff. And that's major city. They didn't have issues. They weren't getting kidnapped and all that stuff. None of that was happening. Hell just because and all that. Fake stuff, making up stuff. 7 judges and all this stuff just to deal with Moors. They weren't doing all that. They were in panic mode. And again, the traitors come in and they mess stuff up for everybody. And then the people don't want to hold the traitors accountable. Like, right? Like, this guy is my co-author. He's my co-author. How is he not talking how I'm talking? What are you talking about? You maybe got a half a bag or something. He got something. He got something. I don't know what he got. He got something. Because no way you're not talking how Coucil talks. Because you're a co-author. No way you're not talking how Coucil talks. You might not agree with everything that I say, but definitely you're not talking how you're talking right now. Because the people who you're talking about have some stuff set up called Baptist Church, claiming that they're Moors, and having people nationalized and all that stuff through them, which is going back to that Baptist Church. That's not going to a Moorish anything. All those thousands of people who nationalized through those buildings, tied to that. You think they proclaim something? They didn't proclaim anything. They're in violation. Because Juali told you Moors don't even go to the church and all that. What are you going to church for? When you got your own temple. What are you going to tabernacle for when you got your own temple? Right? No organization, association, council, group, nothing could give you a nationality. And as soon as you pay for it, you just played yourself. And we're not talking about a servant is worthy of his hire, pay for it. We're not talking about that kind of pay for it. We're talking about pay for it that one sheet of paper costs $500, because this paper is going to be the salvation that's going to get you to know who you are. No, that's not happening. No way he's supposed to be talking like that, because again, these people are a Baptist church calling themselves Moorish Science Temple of America, and Moors are not looking at that as treason. You're playing games with people.
In the file section of our Moorish Science Temple of America group, so you see it here. City of Chicago Municipal Corporation, plaintiff, New Galilee, defendant, plaintiff was the City of Chicago. New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church was the defendant et al. Right? Then it gives you the docket number, the address, 5001 South Wabash. There was no mistaking what this injunction is against. All right? So on here it says permanent injunction, defendant, New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, and his, her, their, its agents, heirs, legatees, successors, and assigns shall be permanently enjoined and restrained from renting, using, leasing, or occupying the entire premises until the same have established full compliance with the municipal code of the City of Chicago, as stated in this cause and further order of court. Defendants and his, her, their, its agents, heirs, legatees, successors, and assigns shall maintain the subject property in a sanitary, boarded, and secure condition while it remains subject to this injunction. All right? There's no other instructions contained in this document that gives any permission under any aspect to occupy or use this building for meetings or anything. So you see, there is a judge here. His name is Anthony Simpkins, Judge Anthony E. Simpkins. Right now, he is not a judge anymore because he was not elected back to that post at the end of 2016. Now he is a lawyer. I got in touch with Anthony Simpkins, and he told me that if he would have given special permission to occupy the building, it would be contained on this order of permanent injunctions, how they could do that. It's not anything on here that says how New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church or anyone else has the authority to occupy, lease, or use these premises at all. It's not on here. Okay? Not on here. Bottom of it gives the legal description of the property, of the lot. Okay? So this is just something that you can go by. All right? Did I miss anything, Brother Easthill?
You're good. You're good. You're good.
All right. So next, I want to go to, again, the next thing that we looked at that jumped this whole thing off was, well, not jumped it off, but gave us greater insight into what was happening, is this document, which is on Cook County Clerk's office. And then this is the doc number under New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church grantee to the grantor. So what you have here is a change of the board of directors. I'm going to highlight this, shareholders / directors of New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. We don't want to focus on the shareholders because this is minutes of special meeting, because this is a nonprofit. The nonprofit does not have shareholders, all right? But directors of New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. On here, it gives you where this nonprofit meeting was held at, the New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, 5001 South Wabash, in the city of Chicago, Illinois, on January 5th, 2015, gives you the exact time, 5:06 p.m. Says the following directors were present in person: Juanita Hester, Robin Lumpkin, David Hester. Says the secretary reported that all the director shareholders of the corporation were present in person, thus constituting a quorum. Resolved, pursuant to a vote by the current director's officers, Juanita Hester shall be issued $15,000 in reimbursement and payment for her services rendered for the corporation. So we like to know, what is this $15,000? and who paid the $15,000 for her services to the corporation. This is the issue right here that we brought up as well. This section right here that I'm arrowing is where the abandonment of the faith took place. Further resolved pursuant to a vote by the current directors, these three up here, offices, in order to preserve and further the cause of the corporation. Which corporation? That an election of corporate officers and directors took place. So this happened to preserve and further the cause of the New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, a Christian organization. Upon nomination and votes, the following persons were voted as directors and officers of the corporation, commencing at the adjournment of this special meeting. President and director, the new president and director of New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, Brother Emmanuel Braswell Bay. All right, what's that say right there? Grand Sheik. New secretary and director, Sister Patricia O'Neill Sheikis. New treasurer and director, Sister Diane O'Neill Bay. Okay, so you can see the date that it all transpired, and this is the document where we can show the connection that the embezzlement has taken place, because we know from this record and from this record here that the Moore-Science Temple of America does not own or control New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. Only through a shadow working of them becoming the directors of New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church. But this is not the Moore-Science Temple of America. These are three individuals who are also on the council of the Moore-Science Temple of America. So thereby, what have they done? Okay, how did they acquire this? Which monies was used to pay Juanita Hester for her services? Which monies is being used to pay for the repairs that's going on? Hold on a second, I got some people who want to get in. Let me, Brother Carol Jabari, I'm going to make you the moderator again, brother. Well, no, it's going to take away my screen sharing, so let me.
Did we find out who iPhone is? They showed their face real quick.
iPhone?
Yeah.
No. No, they got in. Ross Bay Sheik, MH Bay. Who this is? Who Judith is?
Yeah, if iPhone can show where they are, that person needs to be removed.
iPhone, can you come on and announce yourself where you're from, iPhone user?
I'm from Canada.
Oh, that's brother. That's brother Hal Bay. Okay, change your name on there, brother.
I'm not worried, but it's
all right. Let's see what's going on with him. All right,
Okay.
so
Yeah, give me the admin so I can let those people in.
well, if I give you the admin, it's going to
Okay.
take away the have to look at that later.
So it looks like we got unlimited minutes now.
You think so? You put in the search for New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, and it'll bring up the tabs of these two show recordings, these documents. So this is how you get there. You click on these tabs, and it's going to bring it up in another window. It's going to bring up that document, okay? So you just go through there. Once you get this address, if you can write the address down before I send it to you. The next thing we want to go to, I want Brother K.R. Jabari Seal. Here we go. We're going to go through the court docket, okay?
Yes, sir.
Docket. Real quick. M1 case 400-411.
Yes, sir.
I'm making up. I'm not making this up. Okay?
Let's put that inside the group the other day for people to walk themselves through
Where we
that.
get it from. So you see here, case information. This is the case for the demolition court. It's a civil issue, right? For some reason, the ad damning. Did you look up what ad damning was? It was $2,500.
Yes, sir.
14. Go ahead, brother.
It's a fine.
It's fine. All right. First municipal party information.
Of course. Yeah, it's a recording. The recording is Supreme Council under Braswell Bay. Their indiscretions, abandonment of the faith. Uploaded May 5th, 2021 by Rashem Bay. This is what they've done. And then that's what certain people who are definitely supposed to be looking at this from the perspective that we're looking at it, that let's get some work done. Let's get some work done. Which is why we did the book together. To get some work done. And to put out literature, like Drew Ali said, more should just do that. And now he's running with some Galilee Baptist Church people. Now he's pushing for you to start questioning these people who are called themselves Moors, but their stuff is registered under some religious Baptist church. And you're taking them serious. Just like just like the Europeans stole this guy's hat and he got mad. Mad! You taking that serious? If that's what boxing is to you now, a guy stealing a guy's hat and running, then you're probably done for. Sorry. You're done for. If you really think that's real. Stealing people's hat. He was mad. He was big mad. Big mad. Or are they acting? What if they're acting? What if they're boys? What if right now they're chilling? What if right now they're chilling? We got them, don't we? What are we thinking to make off this? 800 billion? Oh man, it's going to be amazing. Play you once again. Because they always fall for the okie doke. And then certain people told you. Bootcamp did the We the People album. What do you think that is? Think that's not Nationhood? Told you on there, okie doke. Still fell for it. But you rep for some hip hop or whatever. Whatever. You rep for Jack. You fell for the okie doke. How are you falling for the okie doke? These people played you out of what? When Noble Drawley left the earth plane, right? We'll call it assassination. If they say, what happened to him or whatever. He was assassinated. But when he left the earth plane, there was a frenzy. Because nobody was studying. Everybody was just chasing after the prophet. That's why the Moors said, hey, you guys need to go home. Prophet needs to sleep. What's wrong with you people? And me just lining up all day to see the Prophet. Like, go do something. You're lining up. We're not even giving out vaccines up here. Line it up. Prophet was the man. There's no way that all these people who call themselves Moors are going to fit inside the temple. There's no way. There's no way that's the place to be at. What are the Moors going to do with it? We're going to go to the Moor Science Temple. All the Moors? Yeah, all the Moors. All over the world? Yeah, all over the world. Going to one temple? Please. What are you talking about? What's the sense? What would be the sense of all the people waking up to the fact that they're Moors and they're all going to this one temple in Chicago? Are you nuts? How big is this temple in 1920? So you really think that you really think that he meant one temple meant a building? All the Moors everywhere. It's just one temple, right? That was the magnitude of your scope of what Moor Science Temple is. Even though you said branch temples and subordinate temples and all that, even though you said that, you're still just limiting this to some building, right? You're limited to some building. It's not about building. But you've been sold out, so now you're behind the curve. And stuff's coming from the other direction, so you better pick a side, or you'll be obliterated. Because people sold you out. They didn't tell you that you're going down the wrong side of the street when you switch countries. And you think everything's cool until you head on with a Mack truck, and then you learn your lesson. Right? We're trying to prevent you from head on into the Mack truck. And remember, it's not us that's telling you. These are some other Moors that came out and told you. The whole Moor Science Temple thing that these people are doing, that you see going on right now today, all those people sold you out. So we're not saying don't rep Moor Science Temple of America ever again because of these clowns. We're telling you, you should probably do some research and really try to find a good one. One that's really doing something for the nation, for the one temple. The one grand body with all the Moors. Because these people sold out. The one grand body was supposed to be some people that we elected and whatever like that and do the stuff. But we're so far behind right now. You're not electing Jack right now. You can't be electing somebody and they got mommy daddy issues that neither dealt with and all that stuff. Can't just any Malik and Sharif whoever, because they have a cool walk. They're the Grand Sheik, the Grand Governor, because their car is nice. People sold you out. Sold out Noble Drew Ali and everything that he stood for. So you have two options. Keep following them in the BS that they're doing and trying to figure this stuff out like something needs to be figured out. Ain't nothing need to be figured out. These people are traitors. But you need to check with something. Check what? They're working under, calling themselves Baptist Church, but posing as Moors. Going on videos dressed as Moors, when their stuff is registered as a Baptist church. Our stuff is registered, but it's registered as Moor Science Temple of America. It's not registered as a Baptist church pretending to be Moor Science Temple. This is your problem, your own. Don't forget, I know that he doesn't push our book. I know he doesn't push our book. He's pushing some Baptist church teachings. And Noble Ali brought this, so let's do this. Instead of pushing the book that we wrote. I know, because the checks are always the same, and I'm the one who sent people to go get the book. Don't forget, we have a book together. So there's absolutely no way he should be talking against anything that I'm saying. But if he's going to ride with people who calling themselves a church and telling you to go over there and figure that stuff out, and you need to deal with that, not deal with the Moors who for the past how much every year has been doing Noble Drew Ali barbecues and all that stuff, feeding people for free, giving people information for free, taking care of people's children for free, taking phone calls, got a phone number for people anywhere that they could call, got an email, anybody could email it. And you're challenging that, but you're not saying anything about these church people? You work with the church people. You have to work with the church people. Just like when we're listening to the thing right now, Moore said, yeah, I'm calling from Canada. Canaanland Moors don't talk like that. That's a traitor. Any Moor telling you we're in Canada and they're a Moor, they're a traitor. Because only Negro, black, colored people talk like that. Moors don't talk like that. Moors say Canaanland. Anybody who's honorable, they're going to say Canaanland. Why? Because the work that got put in for there to be a thing called Canaanland, that people could reference that instead of referencing Canada when they're talking about Moors. That call in whoever, iPhone, who are you, and all that stuff that we're listening to, that's somebody from our temple that left. That's a traitor. Right? They left us to go with those people, and now they're finding out that they're a traitor, just like we've been telling them that they're a traitor. Now they're in it finding out that they're a traitor. How dumb do they look now? Because we already gave them olive branches to come back home. They don't want to come back home. They want to play this is about fame and nobility. All right, then do your thing. Because we can't take away anybody's nationality or whatever, but we could definitely excommunicate you from our organization, from our religious corporation. Because we see people as traitors. And we don't have our own Moorish consular court and all that stuff to take them to. So it is what it is. Excommunication. Because we know what they all did. Because they were down with this first. How are you down with somebody else and they're not even from here? You're going to go rep for some Moors. You live near Atlanta. And there's Moors in Atlanta doing work in Atlanta, but you're not going to go with them. You're going to go with the Moors near you, New York. And talk about rep that harder than the Moors where you're at. That's sellout to us. That's treason. The traitor, what's the difference between a traitor and a converso? A converso is one who under threat, duress, and coercion, had to denounce his religion and take on somebody else's religion. Conversal. So he didn't do anything wrong. He was under threat, duress, and coercion, and he did what he had to do to save his family and save himself. Right? A traitor is someone who does that, but then also they're going to take some finance from you, and then also they're going to do all types of other madness against you when they're supposed to be working with you. Why are they working against you? Why are they not working in your favor? Why are the people on the Supreme Grand Council, who's supposed to be doing stuff right for the past 100 years, we're finding out that Moore Science Temple has been a church all these years? We already know what's up because we come from the Moors who left that, knowing that it was a fraud. Just like Moors who we know that were part of Moorish Consular Court and left that because they found out that was a fraud. And then people still go to it today. And then they're calling me about their issues when they filled out those people's paperwork, but then they're not trying to get a hold of them to solve their issues. They're calling me. Why are you calling me? I don't got nothing to do with your paperwork with Moorish Consulate. We know that the conversal is under threat, duress, and coercion. Right? If he was under threat, duress, and coercion, he would have been sent a signal or something like that saying, yo, something's going down or whatever. I have to talk crazy. And Moors would have picked up on the signal because we're not dumb. Right? But that's not what this is. This is putting the energy out of a church pretending to be Moore Science Temple of America and trying to figure out what's wrong with that. The temple, we need to do this and we need to go to the convention because what convention? These people are traitors. Don't you see that it's a church that they've been running for the past 100 years? From 29 when Drew Ali got assassinated to now, they've been a church. Why you think every time they do interviews with them and all that stuff, they call them church? And they don't even say, no, we're not a church, we're a temple. They don't even say no. But also, too, take a page out of Brother Taj's book. Don't listen to anything that he says. Fact check everything. If you fact check everything instead of I heard somebody say something, so go check just to make sure. Just to make sure, just for yourself, just to be sure, just check. So you're not in the dark. Something goes sideways. Let's play games too.
Or they intentionally speak misinformation and disinformation and speak about and try to deflect people away from the Supreme Grand Council. They will be...
No, not Supreme Grand Council. Galillee Baptist Church. Don't tell me about Supreme Grand Council. That's not what that is. That's Galillee Baptist Church posing as Supreme Grand Council. You referring for some Galillee Baptist Church now? That's what it's about? So you're not going to go to these people and question them on why they're Galillee Baptist Church. You're going to question Kudrow on why he's not talking about Supreme Grand Council. When the only reason Supreme Grand Council is coming up because of Galilee Baptist Church. Because we already know what Noble Drew Ali said in the 1920s. So we know what he said in the 1920s, and then we're here in 2021, and we don't even have a treasury. Obviously, some stuff went down. Obviously. Some stuff went down. Because there's not even a treasury. We worried about Supreme Grand Council. Where's the millions of dollars of gold that was in this? The millions of dollars of silver. The millions of dollars of property papers. Allodial titles. Community center and manufacturing companies. Where's all the paperwork for all those stuff? Where's all those buildings? Don't tell me about some Supreme Grand Council. You know these people are traitors. We already told you that these people had gay porn and all that stuff. That's not a slight on the temple. We're talking about these individuals who were in it, that have made a mockery of it and thought they weren't going to get caught because they thought, ain't no such thing as a computer. Nobody's going to know what we do. Oh yeah? Plan backfired. It's all at your fingertips. It's all there. And like I said, we've been telling these people because we came in from Grand Body that's not part of that Grand Body in Chicago or whatever, because they left because there were treasonous people up in there. They didn't stop being Moor Science Temple of America because they found out that there were traitors in the temple. They didn't stop being Moor Science Temple. They were still Moor Science Temple. And they exercised as Moor Science Temple. And are the only reason that we could now say we're Moor Science Temple. Not because of Grand Major Temple before them, who were traitors. Treason always happens in high places. And the supreme level, that's high place. And if there's treason going on there, then everything under that is in jeopardy. If the supreme is running fraud. So don't let them fool you. Remember that Galilee Baptist Church is Moor Science Temple of America. A church is claiming to be Moor Science Temple of America. And making a mockery of what Noble Drew Ali established. And don't get mad, because that's what traitors do. Don't get mad, make 100 videos talking to people, but not the people who are the traitors. We already know that they're the traitors, and they're not having no conversations with active Moors. Studious Moors. Constitutional enforcement-minded Moors. They're not having conversations with us. They will not have conversations with us because they already know where it's going to go. And they have their position. We're being a traitor. Because if this is about nation and they're telling you about temple membership, they got you. So go check all those people. Don't check Grand Sheiks who are doing the work that these people haven't done in 80, 90 years. Have a newspaper and all this. Have a meeting. No, not a meeting, temple meeting. A meeting with Moors getting together to figure some stuff out in the community, to fix some stuff. It's only Friday meetings that these people have them going to, thinking that means that they're living up to the standard of Noble Drew Ali. He was meeting with governors. He wasn't sitting the temple guy. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Always remember that he's the co-author. He's the co-author of the 77 Amazing Facts About the Moors. And he doesn't even push his own book. That should let you know something. Honors to all the Moors who supported, because Coucil put this out. Honors to all the Moors who supported. Honors to Khalifa Media for, hey, that's a great idea, you guys doing a book together or whatever, and making it happen for people to turn into a traitor and pick the other side instead of the side that we came up on. But we already know how it goes. Not everybody's built for this. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the active Moors. Peace and love to all. Honors to all the mothers. Everywhere you're at. Even if you don't have children, you're still a mother. Honors to you. And socks all day, especially in your shoes. Happy Holy Day, Moors, Islam.